We have refused the suffering of Jesus as a part of the gospel. That's why we are raising criminals and crooks now as ministers of God. And that's why the fear of God is no longer in our generation. Because 90% of what people do now in the name of God is for their belly. The Christianity we're taught is the Christianity of using God to meet our needs. That's why our miracle services are packed, but our vigils are scanty. Because anyone that does not translate to immediate gratification, we are not there. And this is why many heavy matters of the kingdom is withdrawn from many and from many generations. Because only those who can accept his suffering can bear great mandates and great ordinations. Because great ordinations come with great trials and great persecution. If you are not trained to withstand his suffering and persecutions for Christ, you cannot bear great mandates. Philippians 3 verse 10. See Paul's prayer. He said that I may know him. This is a man praying. And the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering, that I may be made conformable unto his death. Have you prayed like this since you became a Christian? Have you prayed to suffer with Christ and for Christ since you became a Christian? Because we were taught wrongly. Acts 5 verse 41. He said when the apostles were flogged, they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. People are celebrating not because they received a miracle. So they were giving testimony in service. And what is the testimony? Me too, I have joined those who are privileged to suffer on the behalf of Jesus. What did they know? Let me show you reasons why suffering is very paramount in the Christian faith. Number one, suffering produces perfection, because therein is the school of patience instituted. Romans 6 verse 3 and 7. He said, know ye not that so many of us that were baptized into Jesus Christ were baptized into his death? In verse 7, see what he said. For he that is dead is free from sinning. This type of death is not just to confess that you were dead with him. It's to carry your cross and follow him. That's why 1 Peter 4:1 said, he that has suffered in the flesh have ceased from sinning. If we cannot endure reproach for Jesus, can we endure the tauntings of the flesh in order to live right? So there is a perfection that only suffering brings. That's why the Bible said, when you are persecuted, count it all joy. Diverse trials purify you. He said, gold that is not as worthy as your faith is tried by fire. How do you think you will not go through diverse trials? The second purpose of suffering is to help you win Christ. Philippians 3:8. When you see people who have God as if they are one, there is a price they have paid in standing for God and swearing their allegiance. They say, yea, doubtless I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Jesus Christ my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Christ. A man who cannot endure suffering cannot win Christ. You can't have a relationship with Jesus where Jesus is yours and you are his, because you will always have a price for which you'll be negotiated. And the final reason for suffering is so that you can inherit glory. Romans 8:17. He says, if we are children, we are heirs, and heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be glorified together with him. 1 Peter 4:13 and 14. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached for the name of Christ, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of God rested upon you. On their part is evil spoken, but on your part is glorified. I'm telling you why we don't carry the level of weight and witness that the first fathers carried. Our Christianity is for pleasure, it's for self-preservation, it's for self-aggrandizement. And that is why, although we say very big things, but the fear of God is not on our life. The glory of God is not on our life. In the days of the patriarch, a man can walk to a king and tell him, this is what God said. He doesn't care if he will die. But you will see dimensions of God's jealousy that backs that man up. You will know that God is still with men. We have removed persecution and suffering from our Christianity. Where are the men who can die for their faith? They are no more. That's why even the little things that we should do, we can't do. Go out to win souls, people can't come. Have a vigil, they can't come. Fast, they can't fast. A man who cannot fast from morning till 3 p.m. is that the man that will go to prison for the gospel? And because we know it's not working, we now remove fasting, remove prayer, remove evangelism, and replace it with drama service. And we bring comedians so that it looks as if things are happening. So we are substituting the things that carry the signature of God and replacing them with carnal things. In the days of the fathers, if they come for vigil, there's no keyboard. They clap their hands, worship, and pray 6 to 6. Nowadays, vigil begin from 12 to 3 a.m. What kind of vigil is that? Because there's no stamina. You can't find men who can travel. Christianity has to be pleasure. no stamina. And this 12 to 3 vigil, we will stop it 3 times, sing long songs to buy time, and if possible, give a little charge so that we will buy time. This is a generation that want to carry the glory. Do you know the level of glory you need to carry for a city to bow to you? A city. Do you know the princes that dwell there? If they come, they will check your flesh. If there's anything they can interact with, they will pull you down. This is why suffering is one of the marker of those who can bear the witness of the last day. If that is not part of your badge, then you are not part of the witness of the last day.